to Morning Reflections. I am your host, the Fat Mantis. Today we are reviewing Stargirl, Season 1, Episode 2, entitled Stripe. Now, I like to say that this show is a beam of light in the otherwise dark arena that is media and news coverage, and in the world today. There's a lot of darkness, we're having a rough year in so many levels, and it is a very depressing time, and I am so thankful that such a show that could just take us out of it, that could be a fantasy that's uplifting and is lighthearted, is not only popular, but it is available to us, and I'm super grateful for the show. It's a delight. So the show is entitled Stripe, and it's talking about the power armor that Stripesy, her stepfather, Luke Wilson's character, has developed, and we get to see a little of him and his armaments and what's he doing, and basically they imply that he's going to be almost an equal level of a hero as she is. Now, they then move into the certain family dynamics, primarily Stargirl's delusional attitude that her father is Starman. Now, a lot of people are bringing up, why doesn't she simply take the picture of Starman, go to her mother, show her the picture, it's a picture of him unmasked, and say, is this my father? And I actually think I believe that there is an intentional reason why they're doing this, and what she is pulling, and the writers are pulling, is the Barney effect. And I, of course, am talking about Barney Stinson from the hit comedy show How I Met Your Mother. Now, this is one of my top shows. I quote it all the time. It seems to be events that happen in it seem to also happen in my life, so it's actually very interesting. It's just very relevant to me. But in it, he's notorious for a lot of things, but in it, one of the things is that he doesn't know who his father is for the majority of the show. And his mother, this is a spoiler alert, leaves him to believe that it's Bob Barker from The Price is Right. I believe, he ended up getting Me Too'd or something, but this was back when he was considered a cool guy. So he believes his father is Bob Barker, and he goes on this elaborate thing and forms a manipulation and this contrived idea to get on the show so he can finally tell his father, I'm your son, I love you, stuff like that. And it's a great episode. It's in season 2. I would definitely check it out. At the end, when he has the chance to talk to his father, Bob Barker, he doesn't do it. He chickens out. And what he does instead is very cute, and his friends ask him why he didn't do that, and he's like, well, I didn't want to turn his life upside down. I love my father, and I want him to, just maintain his normal life, and I don't want to be chaotic in his life. But that's not really what was going on. The truth is that Barney, he needed the lie that Bob Barker was his father. That's how he sleeps at night. He needs to believe that Bob Barker is his father, rather than face the truth that his father could have just been some random guy his mom met in a bar. Now, applying this to our show, Stargirl, I think that she could easily go up to her mom, and I think she's thought of it, to show her mom the picture and say, is this my father? However, it is so much better to believe that your father is Starman, a hero who died for the planet Earth, being a hero and all the such, rather than the alternative of what a lot of fathers who end up leaving their family could really be about. She doesn't want to face that possibility, so she would prefer this Starman lie, and I think it's working out real well. Now, the show goes into a lot of family dynamics, and I think that's part of the lighthearted nature of it. It's actually pretty cool that, basically they go into everything, including the villains. Like, Brainwave has a very complicated relationship with his son. Now, you could see the reason he treats his son so bad is his son has not inherited his mutant powers of mind reading. And he treats him bad, and I completely understand that. I would totally be mean to my son if he didn't have our mutant powers. I am, of course, kidding. No, I would love my son, but if he was the only one in the family who couldn't read minds or have to do telepathy, I would have a ramp at every doorway because I would treat him like he was disabled. But honestly, the show also goes into other family dynamics, like, for instance, the girl who will be Dr. Midnight. There's a little bit of that where we get to see her mom and stuff like that, and I'm actually really enjoying that aspect of it. Now, the show culminates in a final showdown between Brainwave, and they did a lot of superhero cliches. It was still entertaining. Some of the cliches they do is they meet at midnight to have a one-on-one fight, and Stripes interferes, and it's all sorts of things like that. And there's a lot of flossing, like Dragon Ball posing, check out my powers, bad strategy but good fight. It was certainly a good time. Now, because the episode was called Stripe, I was really hoping that Stripe would get, or Stripesy would get the final blow that, you know, he would lose and then Stargirl would come and start winning, and then he would eventually be able to do something good and prove that he's a hero equal to Stargirl. However, that did not happen, and Stargirl steals the show again, and even though he's very competent, he somehow at the final minute drops the ball the way a sidekick normally would. I'm not super loving that, but it was still a good time. Ultimately, I give this episode a 90. Now, I want to get into the identities. Now, this might be a little spoilery for people who don't know anything about the comics. This is the spoiler alert right now. First, I want to talk about the Injustice Society. Now, the Injustice Society has been in every episode so far, and multiple members. And it's not just that Brainwave is the Doctor. This isn't just that. And it's clear what's going on. So, as we already saw in the beginning, the Wizard is the town's mayor. Right? And Amy Smart's character, the mom's, her boss is Dragon King. And the guy who runs the fitness place, who was training Stripesy to get fit, is Sportsmaster. And the female coach who runs the girls' gymnastics team or cheerleading team is Tigress. And they're all planted within the society to pretend like they're normal suburban folk, and really they're evildoers who have some sort of plan in a random suburb. So that should be interesting where that's going. But I just think we need to keep note on that. They play with identities a lot. And now I want to get into the singles table. This is where the actress who will play Wildcat and the actress who will play Dr. Midnight are there. And they call their table the singles table. No one talks, everyone minds their own business. They sit on their own computers and they ignore each other. Now, it's going to an area that I don't love of camp that might jump the shark. If Stargirl ends up just giving the identities, like getting the equipment of the old Justice Society and giving it to them, becomes really lame. It's like this kind of thing where it's like, I'm a superhero and all my friends can be superheroes too. However, I don't think that's what's going on. I think it's actually possible that both of those girls are already Wildcat and Dr. Midnight, and they are the legacy characters for the other team members of the Justice Society, and they too have tracked the villains to this town, and they are pretending to not really know each other, but they are working together to bring these men down. I think that's going to be an eventual twist. I could be wrong. It could be that Stargirl finds the equipment, just hands it off to somebody, which would be kind of weak. I'm really hoping it's not that kind of kitty thing. And finally, I want to get into the identity of Brainwave's son. Now, I don't know if you know, but Brainwave Jr., or really Brainwave 2, but they nickname him Brainwave Jr., is actually a superhero. And he is actually the spinning image of the person they cast. They cast a perfect guy who looked exactly like him. Now, he was with in the comics, the All-Star Squadron, which later on was renamed Infinity Inc. in the 80s to be kind of cool. And it had a lot of children of superheroes and villains. It's Titans-esque, but it never really got there, and it never really went anywhere. And he, as a character, never really went anywhere, but he does have a superhero identity. He's clad in red and blue, and he's heroic, and all this stuff, square jaw, chiseled jaw, and all sorts of stuff like that. And it's interesting that, however, his personality is nothing like his comic personality. This kid is a vicious animal. It's totally weird. I think he might eventually do a 180 and end up becoming the Brainwave Jr. that we actually see in the comic books. That will definitely be an interesting undertaking. I'm assuming he might go to jail and go to prison first, or he'll find out his father's really evil. But I think there's going to be a lot of drama brewing, and I can't wait to do it. See it. Anyway, that is my episode for today. What did you think of this episode? Where do you think this is going? Do you think the single tables are actually already superheroes, just operating in the shadows? Am I missing anything? Please let me know in the comments. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. Remember to keep tuning in to Voice of the Fat Mantis for more reviews of Stargirl, other science fiction and horror, and more shenanigans. Until next time, ciao for now.